Hello there, it's Mike.
And Katie.
It's episode 175.
The one with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
That's right, this week on Cup of Rad. Hey everyone, we're back at you. We're in your ears.
And I managed to say that title without messing it up first try. It was the slowest statement that I've ever made on it, but I said it right. I'm already a success tonight.
Okay, we end it. There we go. Have a good one. Peace out.
Way,
peace.
I'm easily proud of myself, apparently.
And that's the episode, folks. So, So this week we're going to be talking about Doctor Strange. We will, of course, give you a 5-second review before we go into any of our spoiler talk.
I would like to know what your 5-second review is, so I might need to time you on that.
Well, when we get
5-second review.
When we get there.
I know, but it's going to be timed.
We got to give them at least like a little bit of listening, so it like.
I know we're not jumping into the good stuff now. We got to tease them a little bit with other things.
Tease them, ooh,
but still, then you're just going to give them a little bit of a taste and be like, I don't know, do you want to stay for longer or not? Or that's where my mind is right now.
So it's like just a tip or nuts deep.
Yeah. So we tried out Mike Myers' new TV show, The Pentaveret, and it's bizarre. I wouldn't really have expected anything much different, but it definitely has an Austin Powers humor feel.
It's very dry.
It's very dry, yes. And
you can definitely tell that Mike Myers was laughing probably every time he wrote it.
Right.
But I don't know if it hits as hard as he thinks it should have.
But that's part of the beauty of it. It's just there's so much happening, but it's because he's having a giant conversation with himself. It's just like, did you hear what I just said?
Right. Yeah, he plays 8 characters.
There's a few of those though where it's just like that's just ridiculous and super funny. And oh my god, they just said that. And like, did you hear it? Did they know that they're talking like weird, twisted like, It's just it was quite funny.
Big dicks halfway in.
Yeah. And he's just so serious about it. Like, this is just the way it is. And, it's halfway between
Big Dick always wanted to own a motel.
Yeah.
In halfway in.
He suffers from gigantism and, and so it's like it takes something that just sounds ridiculous and it's just trying to be serious with it.
Nuts Deep. Yeah. And they make sure to tell you that it's a real place. So look it up. Nuts Deep is somewhere near New York, apparently.
Yeah. I just, it was weird. If you could, I would say at least try it. If you like Austin Powers, at least try it, but just understand that it's not zany, but it's dry, but there's lots going on and it's just, it's ridiculous. And I'm still curious to see what's going on.
Yeah, we only watched 2 episodes. There was one thing that was really cool because there was a lot of swearing. So it was like to show the difference between Canadians and Americans. And there was like all this swearing from the Americans.
Why are they swearing? It's very excessive. They are Americans.
Yeah. And as you can tell from the podcast, who's the first one to drop the F-bomb? So they had that, and then his like sidekick kind of character is like, how could Netflix let this happen? Right. And then it goes into like the logo and Netflix is like, hey, you know what? This is not what you're used to. The kid friendly comedy of Mike Myers. So we've gone ahead and we've edited out all the swearing for you. So we're going to replay the scene without any of the swearing. And it's actually hilarious. It's the hardest I laughed in those 2 episodes. Yeah. Because
it's the best scene.
Was just ridiculous.
It's like a raunchy sex scene because you just the way it's pulled together and their facial expressions and what they're saying, and it's that idea of just taking out of context of how different it is without that swearing involved. It's a completely different scene. And it was very, very smart, in my opinion. So.
So like that's why I'm excited to see where this show actually goes. It's just really weird. Really weird. So another show that wasn't nearly as weird that finished up recently was Moon Knight. And we've actually not talked about this show at all. for the 6 weeks that it ran.
That's impressive, actually.
Or if we did, I completely forgot, and I'm sorry. And you've got a better memory than me. Or you've just listened to the episodes that close together, and you know. Who knows? It's all a mystery.
But yeah, that's finished up. Sorry.
So yeah, Moon Knight finished up. What were your thoughts on Moon Knight?
I enjoyed it overall. Like, overall positive by all means. I myself love Egyptian mythology, and that was super fun. Learning about something with that aspect for things, and seeing all like the tombs and everything. I got super giddy. I was super Steven, and I was just like so excited. I also love the psychology component of it because I've always been interested in that. Negative wise, it was more dramatic than I was expecting it to be originally, right? So once I got past that, it was like, okay, well, that's just what it is, right? But it was definitely a different style of show than I was expecting. I don't know anything about Moon Knight, so that was me going in without any bias on the character or anything at all about it.
Now, would you read the character after watching it?
I would consider it only because I like the Egyptian aspect of it. I'd be interested to see how that actually goes, but I don't know. I don't. It's kind of hard for me to say that, considering that style of character generally is not something I would go towards anyway. But I found it interesting. It was just so much more of the human element rather than the superhero aspect. Yeah. So it would be curious to read the comics and see if there's more of the superhero vibe in it versus just solving of this one mystery and the one crisis, right? So
that's fair.
What about you?
For the most part, I really like the visuals, and Oscar Isaac did a fantastic job playing multiple characters.
He was amazing.
If he doesn't get some form of nomination, it would be crazy. My only thing was that the finale ended up being a bit lackluster because we never actually got to see the big battle.
Yeah. It just was blipped away.
Yeah. And that was something that, you know, we'd had that in the first couple episodes, and then that kind of just disappeared, subsided. And then we got some really cool, trippy visuals and some spectacular acting and quite a bit of
gigantic monsters fighting each other. And that was amazing.
And all the stuff about the trauma and all those kind of things like that. So then, but then we get to the end, and here you are expecting like this finale that just feels like it's going to be huge, and we see the big monsters fighting, and then it's just over, and you see the aftermath of it because
it's the third one.
It's the third personality, right? Yeah. And it was a clever way of doing it.
Yes, but
it was also a cheap way of doing it. Right? Because
it does have that hook of the wait a second, there really is someone else there. Yeah. Like, we weren't crazy about this. But it was kind of a letdown. I was like, oh, okay, that was sad.
Right? So like originally it was touted as being the series finale. And then now it's saying it's a season finale, but yet they haven't greenlit a second season. So I don't know.
I think I'd be super disappointed, like extra disappointed, if that had been the series finale feel.
Yeah.
That we wouldn't have gotten more closure on this third personality.
Yeah.
I think it's too much of a cliffhanger and a tease. If there had been the tease for it, but we had seen the actual ending of that battle, probably let it go. But just like the holy cow, the badass that's sitting in there is terrifying, and we don't get to see anything or know anything about it. What the hell?
But like, I wonder though if a second season will capture that same kind of feeling that this one had, because there was so much more mystery.
Yeah.
Right. But so yeah,
but it
who
still
knows?
Is interesting to see, because Khonshu knowing the third one kind of adds a bit of he's kind of it's an Egyptian god. He's arrogant and he's selfish, right?
It's interesting to see that he adopted Steven's outfit.
Yeah.
In the back there. He was wearing the suit.
Yeah.
Like, what made him decide that was the more appropriate outfit?
Yeah. So
I know a lot of people were disappointed because the Mr. Knight character is actually supposed to be more violent.
Oh, okay.
Not as passive as Steven was, but oh well. I guess.
I guess it was. They were still trying to use it.
Yeah, they're trying to blend how many years, because like Moon Knight came out in the 70s.
Oh, okay.
Right. with Werewolf by Night or something like that. So it's definitely, he's been around for a while, and then it's had its Marvel Knights is when it kind of like gained more popularity in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Oh, okay.
When they kind of like made it darker and grittier.
I liked Layla when she got she turned into the Avatar. Her costume was really cool.
Yeah.
That was really fun to see, and that representation of something like that was really cool. So.
No, that was really good.
I was super excited with like all the underworld stuff and like, other gods, and seeing all of that was just super exciting.
Yeah.
So.
No, it was a good show though. I still was a good ride.
Yeah.
So that was really nice to see. Like I wasn't completely, the finale was like, oh, okay, it just kind of ended. I still enjoyed the show. It was like Wednesday nights was a thing.
I know,
right?
It was sad. I was like, well, this next Wednesday here, it was just like, oh, wait, it's just Wednesday. It's not Moon Knight night. It's just Wednesday.
But soon we're going to have overlap, and it's going to be really weird.
I know.
It's Obi-Wan and Miss Marvel.
They're on different days, or are they?
I don't know if...
I really hope so.
I don't know if Obi-Wan's going to stick with Friday. And Miss Marvel's going to be Wednesday, but like Obi-Wan 2 episodes drop, and then like a week later, I think Miss Marvel starts.
They better be on different days.
Or actually, no, it's 2 weeks later Miss Marvel starts.
Oh, okay.
But still,
yeah. If as long as they're on different days, then that's a big thing.
Yeah,
because I think otherwise they're just going to shoot that show in the foot.
It's just going to be weird to see how they pull that off. So yeah. So. What else has been going on? Anything, nothing really exciting. Nothing really.
We haven't really got to go venturing out. Got on toys. You do have a big bad shipment on its way, making its way to your little hands of excitement.
That is true.
That will be a very exciting day.
That's my Thundercats Wave 2.
Yes.
And 4.
Yes.
Sounds weird to say that.
So it'll be super exciting to have that. And we expect some awesome unboxing videos of the...
Crack open the cats.
Yeah.
So Super 7 just May, by the time you listen to this episode, you'll have heard that they're doing the LJN colors for Thundercats.
I don't remember you ever speaking of LJN, by the way.
That's the brand.
I know, but it was just like, it was a weird thing. I felt like I was like not in the know of something, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not that old.
Ouch.
I'm just joking.
Well, I could just say the toys, but
no, I know. But okay, I can't complain. Literally the only toy I knew, Mattel.
Yeah.
That's it. I've only ever learned all the other names through you. So unless you've
you never knew about Hasbro?
Oh, and Hasbro, yeah. But no, Mattel. Mattel was toy
Barbie.
maker. That was all it was.
Yeah.
That was the toy. Toys came from Mattel. I probably didn't even actually remember Hasbro was around. It was and Hot Wheels and Lego. There we go. Those are my toy brands.
Fair enough. Well, they're doing toy versions of the Thundercats. It appears to be Wave 6, which is a bit of a letdown because we don't even have a full team yet.
Yeah, I was surprised by that.
So I still wonder.
I thought it was going to be like a separate thing.
Yeah. So who knows? I say they announced it and then they pulled it back. So who knows if there is something else going on?
Because we haven't gotten like the Thunder Kittens or anything. Too.
Yeah, no Thunder Kittens, no Snarf.
Like what the hell?
So that's sort of the weird why they haven't. I would have expected a Spirit Jaga before we started doing different ones.
Yeah.
But that being said, the photos that came out, which then were redacted, of course, the Lion-O looks beautiful because he's the toy colors. He's bright orange with the weird face paint, and the
Remember, it was weird looking. He's teal.
Oh, it's such a thing of beauty, though.
It's so weird looking.
It's like I instantly
super juxtaposed against Lion-O, though. I guess
I instantly saw that and just had those flashbacks of because I only had Lion-O, Mumra, Jaga, and Jackalman.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's what I had, right? So seeing that Mumra though, and what was awesome too was because I had lost the helmet thing, so then he was bald. So seeing him with his helmet again was pretty amazing. But he just looks like an angry vampire baby, and I love it. I love it so much. And I'm having a hard time not being I think I need these because and the monkey is at least so is actually of a different head sculpt.
Yeah.
Right? Like the Mumra's a different head sculpt too.
Oh yeah, they look
right. The body's a little different head sculpt. Lionel's the only one that's not really different other than just a bit different paint.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's a pinless body compared to...
So like, so it's different.
So it is different enough.
It's different.
Right?
It's not.
This one's better than me wanting to get the Mirror Lino, which is a pinless body, but is the exact same as the other.
Yeah, but I love how he finds reasons to justify the... We're just smiling and nodding. You
gave me that complete like mom moment when I text you that today. Haha, that's nice. That's how I read it.
Yep. That was how it was sent.
Yeah. Hey, we know how the toy market is. It's gonna get put out for solicits, and it's gonna be at least 1 to 2 years before it shows up.
So we have lots of time for you to go like, I really want it. No, I shouldn't get it. I really want it. No, I shouldn't really get it. Lots of time ahead of us.
Yeah.
So I'm just letting it happen.
On a sad note, though, for those that were interested in the Super 7 Ultimates Simpsons line,
right?
This actually has me considering canceling the one we ordered because it was one of the components that sold me on buying it. Wave 2 was going to have a Krusty the Clown. Krusty was going to have a third head with a cigarette in his mouth. The disappointing, like, almost falling out of his face mouth. Mm-hmm. He was going to hold his drink and have a cigarette in his hand. He was going to come with the smoking robe, the smoking jacket, right? Mm-hmm. And Teeny, the monkey, was going to have a cigarette. And instantly I was like, okay, I got the alley. They're going to be standing outside. He's going to look unimpressed, holding his drink with a cigarette in his mouth. The monkey's going to be smoking. I was just like, yes, this is going to be a great photo. This is going to be like, you know, the first thing I do when I crack this thing out of the box. And it's been announced that the licensor has vetoed the smoking.
AKA Disney. Thanks for dashing our dreams.
Right? So no longer will he come with a smoking head. Now, at least they've added in that they're going to have still a third head. It's kind of a disappointed, angry head, at least. Because they could have just scrapped a third head and only had 2 heads. And we'd be like, you know. So
there's a mass market scramble for people to make little plastic cigarettes so people can...
Yeah, 3D printed cigarettes. Right?
It's going to be an underground market for that pretty soon.
Right? And I think the drink is not brown anymore. It's green.
So you're going to have like a market for 3D printing of weapons, alcohol, and cigarettes.
Yeah.
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 Let's buy a 3D printer, Mike.
I know, right?
Oh my God.
McFarlane has announced that they're doing a weapons pack.
That is pretty awesome.
And it's a surprisingly good deal, especially, you know, being an American price of $15.99.
Yeah.
15 weapons. It's $1 a weapon, basically.
Yeah, that's really good.
And there's pistols, there's AKs, there's assault rifles.
Yeah, every different types of things.
You know, there's ones that conveniently look like Peacemaker's Desert Eagle with a silencer on it.
Yep.
You know, there's a rocket launcher. They're advertised only for your Spawn figures.
But explicitly stated that they fit all
7-inch McFarlane figures.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's for pre-order right now. So if you're looking for weapons to fit your McFarlanes, like, you got to hit that up because that's totally worth it.
Yeah. We're going to have to figure that out.
Yeah. Because, like, it's only available through McFarlane's toy store site, their own site.
Yeah.
So, but, and they look nice. They don't look super cheap. So there's shotguns, there's Tommy guns, like 15 weapons for $15.99.
Yeah, that's really good.
That's not bad, you know? So, I think that's the most of the toy stuff that I really... Oh, you know what? I did get Plunderlings. I got more Plunderlings.
Oh, there's been so many.
The Drench showed up.
Oh, yeah.
It was Coral and Maru or something like that.
I think, yeah. I think so.
So they were Big Bad Toy Store shared exclusives, I guess. And they're the translucent Drench, so that's pink and blue. Mm-hmm. They come with the same spear. They're pretty much the same figure, just one's pink, one's blue.
Yeah.
The only difference is the blue one has a necklace and the pink one has face guard.
Yeah.
Right? But they're super cool.
They have little lily pad hats on. Yeah. Which is really fun.
Yeah. So they're like little like warriors.
Little sea monster warriors. Yeah.
So I taken a picture with them climbing over the edge of my pirate ship, and that was pretty fun. Mm-hmm. So but I think they'll look really cool outside. Yeah. You know? It'll
be fun to take to the river or lake or anything too. So
right. So but the Plunderlings, I'm excited for the Long and Strong when that finally does ship in next year. Yep. It got pushed back already to January, so
a year away, but hey.
You know, that's the life we live now as a toy collector. Yeah. We buy it now and we hope it shows up in a year. So
we're at the mercy of everything.
Right? You know, everything's changing and everything's going up too. Like you're seeing all those things, you know. So
that's why we that is the benefit of paying now for it, because it's just going to keep going up in price too, right?
So, yeah. You know, stuff that's like $55 now in a year is probably going to be $80.
Right. Fun times.
Right? Inflation. Gotta love it. And now it is time for us to dive into the multiverse
of madness.
Exactly.
With Mike's 5-second review. Oh, you know I'm going to hold you to it. Think about it. Think really hard. I mean, those 5 seconds are precious. Do you want to warm up a little bit?
Why did this get so sexual?
I don't.
How did it turn
it's me? Into? I don't know. Why was that sexual? Warming up does not mean anything sexual. The look on my face was
everything about it. There was no moment that this didn't go from being like, can you do it in 5 seconds? Cause no, I can't do it.
I won't give you stress. Fine.
Yeah, don't review shame me. I'm not. Don't rush this. It's a moment.
Okay.
So Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness hit theaters this last weekend.
It did.
And we went.
It's so exciting.
How fantastic. So it's Doctor Strange's sequel. Like it's been like what, 10 years since his first one came out, it feels like.
Yeah.
Now I like really,
because it was this weird thing where it's like we watch Doctor Strange and it's like, oh, the next Doctor Strange movie. Wait, no, that's actually Spider-Man.
No, the next Doctor Strange was the Avengers.
Well, the Avengers, and then it's just been all these other things, right? So then he was
2016.
Oh, so it's been 7 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like if they, you know, so if we got another one in 4 years, it'd be spectacular. But
yeah. Okay.
So yeah. So Sam Raimi took the reins of Multiverse of Madness from Scott Dickinson, who is known for Sinister, who directed the first one. So we were going into someone that has had territory in superhero movies, also has been in territory of comedy, also in territory of horror.
Yes.
So I was curious to see, because Sam Raimi, for me, had directed some of my favorite horror movies because they take comedy and horror and mix them together. And yes, I said hominy. Comedy and horror, and put them together.
I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, so I knew someone would. I know who would have too. So they put those two together, and then he did such a good job with Spider-Man, but his later ones got a little not as enjoyable. Yeah. Right. And especially because like the effects took over, and some of the trailers and stuff, like it looked cool, but I was kind of worried because it still looked a little cartoony.
A little too much going on. And
But I can pleasantly say in my 5-second review that I freaking loved it.
Excellent. Look at, see, you did it.
There we go. We're done. We're over. Have a good day, people.
No, you said there would be a little bit.
There'll be a little foreplay.
And then now we're going to go dive deeper into it.
Okay. So we're just going to.
And we get to the real thing.
So foreplay wise, it was awesome.
So now it's.
Well, I will give the shots for me, the shots for me were fantastic because
they were Sam Raimi shots.
They were Sam Raimi shots.
I saw it and I was like, oh, Mike's gonna freaking love this.
I love the movement because there are certain things about the way a camera can move that can really invoke just the playful nature that is supposed to be there, especially when it comes from evil.
Yes.
And I love those shots in Evil Dead, and he used those same shots.
Yep. And as soon as I saw them, I was like, oh yeah, this feels like a Sam Raimi film.
And right? I think the thing that was nice was that he always wanted to make a Doctor Strange movie. He wanted to make a Doctor Strange movie before he made Spider-Man because it was his favorite hero. So for him to be able to make a Doctor Strange movie
and make it his own,
for Marvel to say, hey, you can do these things,
movie, yeah,
I think was just amazing. And I think it also was because he's not big enough right now anymore to command I'm going to do it however I want. They were able to say, hey, you got to follow this, but have fun.
Yeah. As
long as it follows this. And that's what it feels like. It still feels like a Marvel movie, but it's like...
Well, and you know what? And that's what they should be like.
Yeah.
They should say, we need to go from point A to point B. Here's a couple of those major points of what we want to make sure happen because they impact our overall timeline.
Yeah.
But we want your own individual flair on it.
Yeah.
Because by putting that somewhat of restrictions in there, it still feels like a Marvel movie. It feels like that's part of the MCU.
Yeah.
But it felt unique. Yeah. It didn't feel like I was watching the same movie from all the other ones, right? And I really appreciate it.
And I take it in that consideration of it's a new artist on the book.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that
we need to think about that more when it comes to, when they change styles, it's like, oh, it's a new arc, new person.
Yeah. And I really got a kick out of it.
Yeah.
So what did you think? What is your 5-second review?
I really loved it.
Well, you
not nearly as cool as yours.
You were looking forward to it.
I was very much looking forward to it. I loved Benedict Cumberbatch. Let's be honest, that was my first and foremost. I'm not gonna lie and pretend that I'm a Doctor Strange fan. I became a fan of it.
You became a fan of Benedict Cumberbatch playing Doctor Strange.
Yes. I have never read... Well, I think you gave me... I've read one comic or something with it for that. Yeah. So I'm not going to pretend like I'm a comic fan of it. But I really like his character in the movies.
Yeah.
And I really loved how you felt so much development with him. And I loved seeing Scarlet Witch in it. She was scary. That was like the horror feel for things. I liked seeing that power that she had was overwhelming a little bit. Yeah. And I loved how they blended those two together. For so much going on, it still felt like a cohesive movie. And I was really, really excited for that.
Yeah. So. Nice.
There you go.
All right. There is your spoiler-free portion of the episode. After this, ye be warned there be spoilers. Or maybe there isn't.
Oh, don't.
Who knows?
If you have to leave us now, that sucks that you haven't seen the movie. And I'm sorry for you. Thank you for joining us, and have a good rest of your day.
Remember, stay rad, dudes.
But if you're still around...
Hey, guess what? You get more episode.
Yeah. Woohoo!
It's like a bonus episode, but not. That's exactly what happened. So, one thing that I have to say that has no actual bearing, so in case you're still here and you're like, well, maybe I need to hear something, has no bearing on the full scope of the MCU or anything. The fact that the Delta is in the movie is brilliant.
And if you know what he's talking about, you're already cool in his books.
Yeah, you are. Groovy. It's in every Sam Raimi movie, and if you didn't spot it, then I'm gonna play a gatekeeper card and be like, you're not a true Raimi fan. So
at least he didn't make fun of me for it. I mean,
No, you know, I'm not gonna make fun of you. I was just super happy. Like when they go into that
I'm excited
world,
to watch it again and see it because I'm excited to watch it again in general because there was so much happening.
Oh yeah.
Like when they were skipping through the multiverses, falling through things, I was trying so hard to pay attention because I was waiting for things to be around there. I'm very excited to be able to look at all the details.
Oh yeah.
So excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a great rewatch. Like it has a lot of rewatchability.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
And I think that's the thing that makes it, maybe it isn't the best MCU movie.
Yeah.
But it has some of the most rewatchability.
Yeah.
And that to me makes it a great MCU movie.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of great MCU movies, but their rewatchability isn't there. So that's why if you can rewatch it a ton of times, and for everyone it's different. That's the thing though. Everyone's rewatch movie is different. Like some people like the long drawn out depressing ones.
Yeah.
I need color and fun and explosions.
I look at MCU, for Brighton.
Yeah.
And
so, but when they go to the one world, there it is. It's spinning. It's right there. And I saw it and it was better than the Bruce Campbell cameo.
Yeah.
Because it was just like he found a way to put it in there and in a predominant spot. It wasn't just parked on a road somewhere.
It had a meaning for what was happening.
It was spinning in the air. And I was just like, yes. Yes.
The movie is complete.
The movie, yeah. It is part of the Remyverse.
That's funny. Speaking of the Bruce Campbell cameo, I know you enjoyed the final scene with him, but I know you thought it could have been better.
I really hoped
the evil in his hand.
I really hoped he had said something about the evil is my hand, or we got to cut it off at the wrist.
It would have been so perfect. As you say, there's probably
some legality to it, but it was just like.
So close.
Like,
so close.
Yeah. Especially when I saw him again at the end, it was just like, oh, you know, and he just had that crazy look in his eye. And I was like, oh, are they gonna, you know, in reality, it like the movie itself, for some reason, is very close to being a possible Evil Dead sequel. When you think about it.
Do tell.
They read from a book. And release evil.
Good point. Okay.
Yep.
Good point.
So.
I like it.
It is true. It is true. You know, here's one thing. Here's a negative. And it's not a negative on the movie. It's a negative to the Marvel marketing. For the toy merchandise. They all made me feel like that green bull dude was going to do some awesome shit.
Yes. Well, in general, any of the other...
He was a background character at most. You have a Build-A-Figure of the dude. There's a pop of the dude. Here I was expecting him to do something.
He didn't even do anything to change the momentum of that battle.
Did he actually even speak?
He did. I don't know.
Other than,
No,
or she's coming for us. Run away.
Yeah, no, that was about the extent of it, but
it was random CG character that the Marvel marketing team.
There was another character that I can't remember what her name was, but she was the one that actually made the difference. Of trying to sacrifice herself to
stab the book.
And I know she had a pop.
She has a pop too?
I think so. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, but at least that one made somewhat more sense.
But it was just that idea where it was like, you see that, and I see this Build-A-Figure. I'm like, oh, there's a big ass bull dude. This is going to be awesome. What's happening? And then it was like, nope, nothing. And that's why, kids, you should never get your expectations up, because I know a lot of people were disappointed that we didn't see Spider-Man. We didn't see Tobey Maguire show up as Spider-Man. We didn't have more X-Men show up.
They wanted Tobey Maguire in this?
Well, they figured because it was the multiverse and Sam Raimi was directing it.
Oh, okay.
You know, so, these are all reasons why we shouldn't get our hopes up, because at the end of the day, the only movie that was spoiled enough to get our hopes up that was true has been Spider-Verse. Everything else has been No Way Home.
Yeah.
Right? But... anyways, I digress. That's the one thing where I was just I thought the bull dude was going to be more badass, not just...
You know what? I mean, other than that, of course, obviously there was spoilers on that for their toys. But I didn't feel like the trailer spoiled the movie, which was nice.
No.
I felt like there was lots of still a surprise element and unpacking of the
until
story.
the end, until like the last few commercials that showed up.
Maybe I stopped watching.
You didn't see them, but they did. They showed the yellow hover chair. They showed Captain Carter. Yeah,
you never told me that.
I saw it by accident, and I didn't want to tell you. I didn't want to tell you.
Well, I'm impressed because I was just like, oh, okay, we assume it's going to be Professor X, but is it going to be there? So, wow.
Yeah, I purposely made sure I didn't tell you about that.
So I am sad, though, how quickly their little Illuminati died to begin with. I'm sad, especially about Mr. Fantastic. Yeah. It would have been cool to see him do a little bit more.
But it showed his cockiness, his arrogance.
Yeah.
As you mentioned to me, I was like,
but at the same time, he had said, we got this. We're not afraid of her. Like, we're totally fine. Like, we can talk her out. And it was just like nope.
Because their Wanda wasn't as broken as the 616 is.
So it was interesting because it was frustrating, but then when you think about it and you talk about it, okay, well, no, it was meant to be that way. It was meant to show that they were completely underestimating what Doc Strange was saying, that you do not want to mess with her. Like, this is not okay. The death of him and Black Bolt were horrific.
Black Bolt was horrific, yes.
And I was horrified, but also super impressed because that was edgy. It was borderline horror movie feel, right? And it was so scary. And again, it showed her ability. I mean, she wasn't even in her real form. She was dreamwalking in this. Yeah. And I know their Wanda had power, so I understand that. But holy hell, it was terrifying. Right. So that whole scene was shocking. Yeah. Over and over and over again, shocking. So yeah. And her powers, it just kept getting worse and worse.
Well, it was nice to finally see Wanda release, though, right? Because she's been so sort of depowered for the most part.
And it's a good commentary on how much trauma fucks you up.
Oh, yeah. See?
I know. I'm the one who did it. Thank you very much. But how badly that can influence things. And if you have someone that, in her position with so much power, it's so much more devastating and just how all consuming it is. And it was just, there was a lot of good commentary on about that, because she wasn't really evil. But it shows then how easy it is to be corrupted by that trauma and to make choices that are driven by that trauma. Yeah. She wasn't driven on hurting people. She didn't want to hurt people. That wasn't her point. That wasn't her motive.
Well, she was just selfish.
But it was a selfish thing. And how they resolved it and brought her down was so much better than just killing her, defeating her, because there wouldn't have been real joy in that. Yeah. It would have just been a necessary thing to do, but it was more fulfilling, I think, in a way.
And I think that was the whole point with the fact that they kept saying, well, Strange needs to be the one with the scalpel. He's going to do the thing that needs to be done. Yeah. And at the end of the day, he could have just killed her. He could have taken Chavez's power. Yeah. And just destroyed her, but instead took more of she needs to see this.
Yeah. She needs to learn. Yeah. She needs to experience it and solve her own problem, that he can't just always go in and cut out the problem. Yeah. Right. And so that's why I love that there was so much growth on his point. Mm-hmm. Because that's a huge step for him. Yeah. I mean, that was showing that's the thing that was keeping him from loving Christine. Yeah. That is the crux of the whole issue.
Well, it even stems back to Spider-Man. His idea is, well, I'll just cut out the idea that people remember who you are and we'll be good.
Exactly.
Right? Like,
and how often do we want to do that in our normal world? Yeah. If we had the ability to just make something go away, we would most likely, right? Yep. And yeah, and I think her seeing, because I love that question, well, what's going to happen to that version of you, and seeing that, no, they're not, yes, they're your kids in another universe, but they're not your kids. They're her kids. They're not the same thing. And to act as if they are the same being is ridiculous.
Yeah.
No different than acting like, well, you're not the same being. Because if you're saying that, then you have kids in that universe and you should be happy with it.
Yeah.
You know, you're saying that you're more important than what they're experiencing, you know? And so it was just, there was a lot of deep philosophical in all of the horror and the weirdness and the twistiness and everything, right? So
we go back to the Illuminati, the idea that the fan casting finally happened of John Krasinski playing Mr. Fantastic. Now, here's the question. In this movie, it clearly shows that in every universe, every multiverse, it's the same person.
Yeah.
So does this mean, is this the official casting that
he
says
is Mr. Fantastic?
Yeah. Like for the Fantastic Four movie.
Spider-Man is different in different universes.
And that's the question. Spider-Man is different in the different ones, except for in What If, it's Tom Holland. So will they use that out, that there could be other ones that are different?
Yeah.
Or is it the official telling us that John Krasinski is...
That would be really cool if it
and now my question goes to you this. The fact that John Watts was supposed to be the director, and suddenly, just before this movie came out, he stepped down to take on less strenuous things, but he's the only director that has stepped away from a Marvel project that Marvel has said, we look forward to working with him in the future. When Scott Dickinson left, they just like, have a good day. Even though they brought Gunn back, they were still like, good day to you, sir. Some of the other ones are like, you know, it just didn't work out, right?
Yeah.
They're still like, hey, you're welcome back. Was he the scapegoat to hide because people want Krasinski to actually direct Fantastic Four 2? Are we going to get an announcement? Here's the idea of letting things run in your head and cause a problem. Are we going to get an expectation? Are we going to get an announcement that he's actually directing it? And it's all was a ruse all along.
So why do they need him to direct it? Does he want to, or
he wanted to?
Oh, okay.
Right. He talked about wanting to direct.
I guess he has directed before too, huh?
Yeah. Quiet Place.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So that's one of my things. But then it also
because he was cool looking as Mr. Fantastic. I mean, it was fun to see him.
Yeah.
See him like that, and it was cool to see a momentary of stretching.
Yeah.
Before he was plasticized.
And then begs the other question, is Patrick Stewart forever going to actually be Professor X? Will he come back as Professor X if they ever make the X-Men in time before he dies? Not to be morbid, but he's getting older.
But at some point he's old. He's been old forever, so. Because
these are the questions that lay forward to me is that this movie put the precedent that they look the same in every universe.
Yeah.
Right? And
I guess in that world, yeah.
But like, except for Spider-Man.
What's his face back?
No, I don't think he'd ever do it again.
But I still like him.
I still wish though they have the ability to cast whoever though, right? They can go forward and do whatever they want now. Yeah. Hopefully. But
that was the other thing with Professor X though, of his death. Like that was like you could tell that it wasn't going to go right because he looked nervous and he doesn't look nervous. Yeah. And I thought that was really cool to see him like that because he's always so calm and in control. Yeah. And to see him not in control, you're like, holy shit. Yeah. He's this nth level, whatever, like, high end psychic. And this was scaring him. And that was really well done. So.
Seeing him pull up and having that 90s X-Men theme play.
That was so cool. The yellow chair.
The hover chair.
I'm so excited that thank you for letting me have that in the movie.
You're welcome.
Screw the people that ruined it.
No, it was actually Marvel.
Screw the Marvel marketing that ruined it.
They showed the pearlized chair and they had his voice and his hand on the chair.
That's frustrating.
But yeah, no, that was just like a great moment to see that because how cool is that to have that show up. Yeah. Like, I still hope that even when they decide to finally do X-Men that we still get that chair because that's like too cool not to have. Yeah. It's a hover chair. Like we don't need to make things real. We're dealing with comic book characters. Right? Give the man a hover chair.
Let's be honest, he can read minds. We don't need to worry about a real wheelchair.
Right? Like, at that point, it's like, no, his chair, and like, he doesn't need controls. It should be some kind of weird hover mind link control that he's controlling it with his mind.
That is true. He should be strong enough to just like do it with like breathing.
Yeah. He's just controlling his chair. He's like, what else?
Yeah.
No, I can do this, bitch. Like, that's easy. This is like me tooting. Like, it happens.
All the things. I said breathing, but I
think a lot of people toot better than they breathe.
Interesting.
We think we breathe better, but, for the most part, we probably toot better.
Wow.
I've been around too many grade 7s.
You have.
Most of them can't run, but they can toot. I'm not lying.
Well, we have a son, so I understand.
Yeah, I'm in a portable.
You feel all that, huh?
I smell all that. But yeah, no, and seeing Captain Carter in live action, that was super cool.
Yeah, that was very cool.
Right? And there was just a lot, like, so a lot of cool stuff showed up in there in the comic book realm of action.
Yeah.
But then, of course, we talked about the idea of like the horror movie moments, but like there was a lot of surrealism in this movie as well, which was really cool to see because like surrealism is like, I think, vastly underused, especially in a visual medium. Mm-hmm. Like it was such a big thing back in the day. And then we went, no, we must make everything real.
Did we just turn into paint?
Right. Like the fact, like the one of the shots I loved was the with Wanda when she saw the cup and like the teacup and there was like waves in it.
Yes, that was so cool.
Right. Or like the stairs that going to nowhere and like the water when they walk through, like there was just a lot of trippy shit and it was just really cool.
That's why I'm excited to watch it again because there's gonna be so many things that were there that you were like, oh yeah, I remember this. Oh yeah, I remember this, or things that I don't even remember now because just so much happened. Right.
So, what do you think of America Chavez?
That was really fun. I mean, I like that she wasn't corny and campy. That she or ditzy. Yeah. She was
pretty good little actress for she was hired at 14. She's 16 now.
Oh wow. Yeah, so I like that she was serious but also wide-eyed. Yeah. Very much like, nope, this is the way things are, but she wasn't all broken and mopey or anything like that. Yeah. So it was just this nice little like bright spot for something. Yeah. So that was impressive.
So I think her name's Sochi.
That's what it kind of sounded like when she said it.
Gomez. It's spelt like it's crazy, like XHOC something. Like I'm like, don't quote me on that.
So like, we don't know the dialect of what the.
But I think on the video that she posted, she said Sochi. So cool that she's getting to use her actual name because back in the day, like there was the Oscar Isaacs joke where he had to choose the most whitest name that he has, right? So it's nice that they're like, hey, just be yourself. That's great. So I thought she did pretty good. I have no qualm, like any problems at all. Like it was just, I'm curious to see if we'll see more of her. Like she's training with Wong and all that.
Yeah, that's interesting for sure. To see, because there is no explanation or understanding about her power at all. Mm-hmm. And so is that something going to be that shows up still? She's, it could still easily have impacts in the world, of course. Yeah. And
it feels like they're really leading up to like a Young Avengers, though, eh? When you've got Kate Bishop, you've got American Chavez, like it really feels like they're starting to set up something else.
Yeah, they very well could.
Right. So, what do you think of Zombie Strange?
At first I was laughing. It felt like Evil Dead to me. Yeah. So when I'm looking at this and I'm laughing because it felt campy, but it also was okay because it made sense for the situation of what was going on. And like when he had said, who says I don't have a body there or whatever he said, I was like, oh, of course that's going to come back. Why did I not think of that?
It was awesome because he looked like when Ash gets taken over by the Deadites in Evil Dead 2, when he's all like he's all like hanging out. He like even like kind of moves the same.
Yeah,
like,
he was definitely different looking, right? He wasn't just like, I'm moving the exact same as Doc Strange, but I'm dead.
Yeah.
He had a very different demeanor about him. I loved the fight with the Hell Spears or whatever they were called. I thought that whole scene was really interesting with them all. Like,
it was nice to see that there was consequences.
Yeah,
it wasn't just like, oh, I can just dream walk in a corpse and it's okay.
It's okay. It's like, no, this was a breaking.
It was like there was there was something else like that was even like, yeah, you can dream walk, but the moment you dream walk into a corpse, no.
Right, and I really liked that. That was cool. The swirling in his eyes and like coming out and attacking, and hearing Christine talking to him about the fact that, no, you are that badass, that you're a mystic, you can control this, and just giving him that confidence boost. And it was
collecting them all into
this like cloak. I said originally I had said cape. I was like, wait, no, it is a cloak.
Sorcerers have cloaks.
Yep. And to see that was just ridiculous and over the top, but also really awesome.
And that just led into that great scene where the Souls of the Damned swarmed Wanda, and then we had those great Evil Dead like zoom shots.
Yes.
Where like it was like supposed to like be that penetration. Right?
Yeah. That was really cool. So
I actually really enjoyed this one more than the first Doctor Strange.
It's much more.
It's fun.
It's much more comic book feel.
Yeah.
Right. There's a lot happening. The first one I realized how much it's so much more dramatic.
It's truly an origin movie.
Very much so. Well, it's no different than, say, if I think about Thor. Like, I love the Thor movies, but Ragnarok is by all means my favorite one.
Yeah.
Let's get done with the drama and the origin and everything, and let's just have fun with it.
Yeah.
And this one definitely felt that way too.
Yeah.
Because we have seen him in so many other ones, I kind of feel like, well, there's been a few other things.
Yeah.
This is the fun one, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that last whole scene was really interesting for sure.
So Kiddo really liked the battle where they end up using. So when he fights Sinister Strange.
That's what it is?
Yeah, well, that's what they're calling him, I guess.
Oh, okay.
But where he opens up and he's got the dark hold and he's got the third eye. Mm-hmm. Kiddo loved the music battle where Strange, our 616 Strange realizes to use the piano and cast a spell on the piano.
I love that scene.
Send the music to attack.
And it's not normal for Kiddo to say he liked a scene. He normally is just like, I don't know.
Everything was good. I liked it. It was cool.
He immediately said that though. Yeah. So it really stuck with him.
Yeah.
And we had talked about the fact that we love that they have different tones to their battle, their notes. They're different. They're not just fighting with the same music or the same notes. They have it kind of reminded me of like a Peter and the Wolf type. I remember when I was little, like they had this whole like just explaining a show with music, and that's just what it reminded me of, is the idea like every character has their own instrument, and when that instrument shows up in that style of music, you know what's going on, and that's what it felt like. Yeah, and it was just really cool to see it turn out that way, and to give a physical power to the music notes. Yeah, that was super fun.
Yeah. That was one thing with this whole movie, though, that was different with this Doctor Strange. I think this is why I really enjoyed this version, was that in the first Doctor Strange, it was solely the sling ring and the shield.
Oh, yeah.
And the time stone.
Yes.
Right? Then when we go into his Avengers appearance, it's sling ring, shield. He had his wraps. Mm-hmm. He made his sword thing, but his shield and the time stone. Mm-hmm. This had so much more spells, and we got to see like the opening scene where he fights the monster. And
the giant hands,
and like the fact that he could use the shield spell more as like a buzzsaw. There was so much more, and we saw him do so many things.
Just him being a full sorcerer The idea, like at the wedding when he changes the water to wine.
Yeah.
That was just magic.
Yeah.
Opposed to like a spell being cast or something. You didn't see anything. It was just like, or putting his tie on. It was those little things where it wasn't some big grand, like sparkling spell.
Yeah.
He just did it.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, yeah, he really are magic.
Yeah.
That's really awesome.
Yeah. So it was just so much.
Yeah, the buzzsaw cutting the bus in half.
Right. And when he expanded the bus into like parts to see what was going on and like, you know.
Yeah, there was so much more happening. That's so much more powerful.
You could tell exactly. He learned so much more and was actually using it versus being just kind of the smart guy in the background.
Yes.
And you got to see so much more. And this movie felt like it challenged him, you know, completely.
Yeah.
To push all his boundaries of all the different spells. Because even his Spider-Man No Way Home appearance, he was
it was strong, but it was very simple looking.
Yeah. He
static.
Right? Yeah. And this had action, like you know, the fact that you know he was actually fighting.
Well, I think this out of all of his appearances in the MCU would probably make me the most interested in looking to see if there was something like this in the comics, right?
Yeah.
So.
Well, just like in his hand-to-hand combat fight with Mordo, right? Like, he actually was fighting hand-to-hand. Like
I love when he just climbed up the wall and just disappeared. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome.
So. No, fully. I really, really got a kick out of this film. And then we have our end scene where he claims that he's okay, and the Darkhold doesn't have any effect to him, and he gets a third eye.
Yes, he does.
That was a crazy way to end it, because it all just had that, like, it gave me
everything was so happy.
It gave me almost more of like the Spider-Man 3, like when Parker's like all like dance Parker. And he was like do, and then all of a sudden he just stops and drops, and the third eye pops out of his head, and then it went to credits, and I was just like, what?
You know what it reminded me of? As if the Necronomicon was suddenly like buried, and all of a sudden the eye opened on it or something like that. I was like, yep, this is what it felt like there. The book is not dead.
Yep. And then we got the first after credit scene, which showed Charlize Theron showing up as Clea. And because I'm not versed in a lot of Strange stuff, I had to look that up and find out that she's from the Dark Universe and a potential suitor for Strange.
Which follows suit with him realizing that he's not quite happy. He does actually want a connection with someone, and he needs to let go of Christine, most likely. So that's kind of a cool idea that hopefully it leads somewhere with it.
And then we get to see that he still has a third eye. And there's still stuff wrong with the multiverse, and they've got to go clean it up. So, yeah. I was really happy. It gave me the excitement of heroes again. Like it was definitely that this was fun. I had a lot of, there was a lot of cool shit happening, and I'm excited to watch it again. But at the same time, it was like, I'm ready for my next Marvel. Like it was that jazzed of a experience.
Exactly. The last, little bits of experience, sometimes it's kind of been a little dragged on for it. So it was like, especially after Eternals, unfortunately, it was not nearly as exciting. So I think a little bit of new excitement for the universe.
Well, it just proved further to me that the Marvel stuff that I like is the big, colorful, crazy stuff. So when I'm excited for Love and Thunder.
Yeah. Right? I'm so excited for that.
That's what I'm most excited for right now.
Yeah.
And then really it's Guardians.
Yeah.
I know they're saying that Wakanda Forever is supposed to be coming out still this year, but be curious.
I don't know. I just I really enjoyed Black Panther by all means, but I kind of feel like it needs to just not be touched. Like it's just when I think about it, I feel sad.
Yeah.
For it. So it'll be
curious to see what the trailer hits and how they're gonna handle everything.
Yeah,
for sure.
I feel like because they can't not touch on the subject of it.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's gonna it's great to have that sympathy and then homage towards it. Then that's fine. But it's that little bit of dread of feeling like it's gonna be just a sad movie.
Yeah, because he was so likable as Panther.
Yes. So
it's gonna be a hard sell for, I think,
for it to really transition move on without him. Yeah. But so there we go. As far as Multiverse of Madness excitement.
Right. Did you see it? Did you enjoy it? Let us know. It's always good to find out what y'all thinking. Was there any scene you liked? Any scene you didn't like? Was there any scene you didn't like?
I don't, off the top of my head, no.
Okay.
I'm pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's filled our cup. Filled it up.
Yeah.
Like a raging river.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
Remember, stay rad, dudes.